The bodies are piling up.
A seventh victim has now been positively identified.
7 dead in 6 months.
The most notorious serial killer in the state of Connecticut's history.
And now the murderer responsible, Connecticut's most prolific serial killer, is spilling his secrets.
It's not like it was a beast that was driving me to commit these crimes.
Crime Watch Daily speaks to the real-life mind hunter who got inside the head of the madman.
He would confess in detail all of his crimes to me.
And then we talk to the killer himself.
The fantasy was about just raping. I killed him to try to cover up my crime.
It's late summer when a hunter makes his way into the central Connecticut woods. The brush and weeds are thick, but there's an open patch just ahead, and something has been unearthed.
A hunter was behind here looking for a place to hunt and found the first skull.
But not the last. When New Britain police arrive on scene, they quickly uncover what appears to be a mass grave. Buried within, the mutilated remains of 3 women.
They were somebody's loved one. They were somebody's daughter, somebody's sister.
The first body to be identified is that of 53-year-old Diane Kuzak. Jane Doe number 2 is found to be another local girl, 23-year-old Jovelyn Martinez, just weeks away from her 24th birthday when she disappeared. The third and last of the remains to be ID'd are those of 40-year-old mother Mary Jane Menard. As it turns out, all 3 women disappeared during the same 6-month time span years before, a time Mary Jane Menard's daughter, Tiffany, will never forget.
She was the rock of the family.
Tiffany, just 18 at the time, still relives those final moments with her mom.
Leaving my house, I said goodbye, and we hugged, and never thought that it would be the last time I saw her.
You had no idea?
No idea.
The terror she would face.
According to a witness, Mary Jane Menard was last seen getting into a, quote, black or blue van being driven by a man named Bill. But that appears to be as far as the investigation got. And for years, the case seems to live on only in the occasional article online. That's when local attorney turned true crime writer Ann Howard stumbles, or rather clicks her way into the story.
I was researching online about some cold case murders not far from where I lived, and every time I researched this story about bodies being found behind a strip mall in New Britain, Connecticut, kept coming up on my news feed.
Anne can't help but wonder,
who is this monster who has yet to be arrested for the murders of these people being found behind a suburban strip mall on a busy roadway, not far from where I live? And I started a blog about it. And I started researching cold cases and unsolved murders. The blog evolved into writing solely about this case.
While digging into the story on her blog entitled Serial Murders in Connecticut, Anne starts to wonder if those 3 bodies are the only bodies, especially when another local crime catches her eye.
I became quite intrigued.
It's the disappearance of 33-year-old Nerissa Arizmendi from the neighboring town of Wethersfield, Connecticut. And it happened during the exact same time period that the other 3 women disappeared. But that's not the only similarity.
Her boyfriend told police that he last saw her getting into a van.
A dark blue van, to be precise. But unlike the other women, Nerissa's case has been solved.
Information was developed with respect to a van matching the description given by Nerissa's boyfriend. That van was registered to Dorothy Holcomb. It was learned that Ms. Holcomb's boyfriend was named William Devin Howell.
And according to his girlfriend's parents, Howell had recently purchased the van from them for $400.
Processing the van revealed a bloodstain on the vertical back cushion of the middle seat of the van.
Police send it to the state crime lab for testing, and when the results come back,
DNA of Arismendy was found in his van.
William Howell is arrested in connection to Nilsa's disappearance. Even though cops don't have a body, Howell takes a plea deal for manslaughter and gets 15 years. But then that was before police found those other bodies.
Red flags are all over it.
Coming up,
He would duct tape their mouths so that no one would hear them making any noises.
a serial killer revealed along with more victims. And later,
What happened? What made you cross the line?
the predator speaks from behind bars, telling me why he's unlike any who's come before.
This may make me even more sinister, but it
And what's significant about where we're standing right now?
This is the location in the corner of the McDonald's parking lot in New Britain where the serial killer William Devin Howell raped and strangled 3 of his victims.
Where we're standing.
Absolutely.